What's going on YouTube world? Austin Zaback here with another YouTube video, and if you're new to my channel, I really appreciate you joining. In today's video, we're going to be taking a brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance from Scottsdale, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada, 315 miles in total, and we're going to see how we do in terms of the battery. Okay, a lot of people that buy Teslas end up having range anxiety, okay, which I never thought was a thing until I bought a Tesla. So we will see what kind of range we actually get. Now, if you look at my screen right now, it shows that we have 288 miles of range. Okay, we'll see. It is a little bit hot in Nevada. It is also really hot in Arizona. So we will see if by running the air conditioner and doing different things like that actually drain the battery faster than what it is saying that I should get. So we're just gonna have to find out, and I really appreciate you for joining us in this journey. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button. Just destroy it, do whatever you gotta do. Click it a couple of times. As long as it is an odd number of times, it should end in blue and you'll be good, okay? We'll see you in a little while. All right, we are officially on the I-10, okay? We're driving right now, and I actually have it in autopilot, so I'm not doing really anything. Obviously, I gotta sit here every now and then. If you can see, it says apply slight turning force to the steering wheel, so I do that, and we're good for probably another like 30 seconds, give or take. I will say, okay, I am going a little bit over the speed limit, so we will see if that affects my overall range. Okay, it says that I have 185 miles to the next charger that I need to plug the car into, and it says I have a total of 265 miles of range. So in theory, I should get here with like 80 miles of range still. So we'll see if I get there with 80 miles of range, or if we run out of battery and we gotta call a tow truck. I mean, you just never know. We'll just have to play it by ear. All right, we just got to the Tesla charging station in, where the heck are we even at? Do you know, Mars?
Wickenburg.
Wickenburg. We are in Wickenburg, Arizona, and here we go, okay? So the Tesla's currently charging. They got like these big like Tesla chargers here, which is pretty cool. And we are charging currently at 293 miles an hour, okay, according to my app. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. There's like stuff to do. You got like a Bash's over here. You got like, it's kind of like an old, like, what is this, like an old farm town?
It's like a Western town.
It's like a Western like type of like vibe, okay? So we're actually driving two cars. So my buddy's in a gasoline car. He just went to Circle K, and we're just hanging out, charging the car, okay, beautiful weather. I will say though, I did stop a little bit early, and that is because I don't think Tesla routed me properly. They said that I could make it to Kingman, and that when I got to Kingman, I would have like 12% battery left. I refuse to believe that because my battery seemed to be dropping faster than it showed. So I decided to add a charging station before Kingman. That way we could be for certain that we make it to our destination, okay? So just remember, if you get a Tesla, if you buy a Tesla, you gotta be really careful, because if you're using your air conditioner, or if you're like speeding, you're going above the speed limit, you pretty much have to like chill out, okay? You have to like charge it more often. I also put my Tesla in chill mode rather than sport mode. So I'm not actually sure if chill mode ends up helping, but we'll see. All right, so we're walking here, and we're actually gonna go to Bash's, but look at this freaking chicken. Unbelievable looking chicken, okay? So, I don't know, I guess that's like the cool thing. Like, here's the cool thing about owning a Tesla, I feel like. If you own a Tesla, you get to just like, honestly, like you get like, if you owned a gasoline car, let's be real, would you ever stop in this city in a million years? Like, you just wouldn't, you wouldn't. So I feel like when you own a Tesla, you get to like stop and like experience like culture and wilderness and like, experience life a little bit. So that is a reason that you should buy a Tesla if you're watching this. Also, you should use my discount code if you buy a Tesla, because I get 1,000 free miles of supercharging. You get 1,000 miles of supercharging. It's a win-win, okay? I'm gonna go into Bash's, we're gonna get some food, and we're gonna get back on the road. All right, we're out here right now at our next charging station, and I'm actually with a group of friends. It's kind of windy out here, I do apologize, but I have some friends over there at the Chevron. So it actually ends up working out pretty well, because they're actually fueling up with gas, and I'm charging the Tesla, okay? I do apologize again, it is windy, but hey, the Tesla's actually not a bad car for road trips, okay? It's a pretty good car. This Tesla charger, what I have noticed is that all of the Tesla chargers do charge at like a little bit of a different like miles miles per hour, and this one right now is charging at about 250 miles per hour. So this charge should only take about another half an hour, and then we are back on the road and back headed to Vegas. So not too bad, okay? Teslas are not too bad at all when it comes to actually taking a Tesla on a road trip. Hopefully you're enjoying the video so far. I'll keep you guys posted. So I ended up getting to Vegas, and I actually forgot to record the rest of the road trip, and I also forgot to record on the way back. However, I do have a bunch of things that I noticed while taking my Tesla on a road trip that I like, and definitely a couple of things that I don't like. One of the biggest things that I noticed that I didn't like about Tesla on the way home from the trip was that there was actually a long line at multiple of the different Tesla chargers. As you can see, there was actually multiple different charging stations that were actually entirely down altogether, which created a really long line, and overall it was just a very long wait to actually charge my car. Now, Tesla didn't actually show me on the screen when I was driving towards the station that there were a couple of ones that were out of service. Sometimes it'll actually show you how many stalls are available when you go to charge your Tesla, but for whatever reason it didn't show me, and I ended up showing up and there were a couple of stalls that I didn't even know didn't work. So I ended up plugging in my Tesla, walking away, only to come back to find that my Tesla wasn't even charging. So that was definitely a complaint. I had to wait a little while, but again, overall it wasn't that big of a deal, okay? It was definitely downside to having an electric car, but honestly, it is to be expected by owning an electric car. And while I did have to wait a little while, I ended up just watching some Netflix on the screen, which in a gasoline car you pretty much can't do. And I did travel with a gasoline car, which you saw on the way there, and they actually didn't beat me by that much getting home. So I would say I was probably about an hour to maybe an hour and a half behind them, which again, to me, wasn't that big of a deal. But for you, if you've ever thought about getting a Tesla, it's definitely something to consider. Another big thing that I noticed when taking my Tesla Model 3 on a road trip was that it'll actually route you to your destination and have you stop at different superchargers along the way. The problem with that is that it doesn't account for any wrong turns. It doesn't account for a lot of the wind. It doesn't account for if you're gonna speed over the limit a little bit. And so what ended up happening to me was I ended up taking a wrong turn, and it didn't account for that. So I actually almost didn't make it to my next supercharger due to the fact that I had to go like 20 miles out of my way to make a U-turn due to the fact that there wasn't anywhere else to do it. So it doesn't account for any sort of error or anything like that. It'll just take you exactly to where you need to go, and it'll have you stop at the superchargers it'll think that you need to stop at in order to make it. So that kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm going to say next, and that is that on the way from Phoenix to Vegas, as you can probably imagine, it was very, very hot. So I'm 100% positive that running the air conditioner the entire way completely drained my battery. So while it told me I had like 300 miles of range, I'm like positive I only got like 215 miles. So if you live somewhere cold or you live somewhere hot where you're gonna have to run the air conditioner, you're gonna have to run the heater on like a fan speed above, I would say like 5 or 7, then definitely take that into account, okay? Because at the end of the day, it does not account for that. I'm almost positive of that. Another big thing that I noticed was there's actually a lot of wind noise. So I decided to look into this a little bit, and I actually found a little gasket that I can put on the outside of my car, which I'll show you, but there's a ton of wind noise, and I kind of think that I know why. But when you look above the actual like windshield and the sunroof area, what you'll notice is there's actually a gap on the outside where the glass meets the glass. And the other problem with it is that it is an electric car. So the more that I thought about it and the more that I looked into it, it actually made all of the sense in the world. There's no engine noise at all in this car, okay? You're literally driving down the road in an electric car with no shifting, no gears, and no engine noise. So what occurred to me was that in a lot of the gasoline cars that I'm used to driving, there was actually probably a lot of wind noise around the windshield area that I just didn't even realize. But in this car, you do tend to realize it a lot more, and I found a ton of different forums online of people people that have realized it, and there's actually companies out there that have made a gasket that goes around the top sunroof area of the Teslas that'll actually reduce the wind noise. And again, this is really minor, this is really petty, and overall, finding things about the Tesla Model 3 that I don't like is actually kind of a hard thing to do. But I do want to point out a couple of the things that I've personally noticed while owning the Tesla and while taking it on a road trip. The wind noise is something that if you have the music all the way down and you're just like chatting with somebody in the car, it's definitely something that you'll notice. But again, it isn't something that is a big deal, and it's definitely not something that I'm going to complain about on a daily basis. Another one of my biggest complaints is that when you go into a parking garage, which there seems to be a lot of in Las Vegas, when you come out of that parking garage, you have like literally no network connection for like the next 30 minutes. And I do not know why Elon Musk, okay? So if you can figure this out, that would be incredible. But literally, I'm telling you, when you come out, you will tap your screen over and over and over again, and it'll just say network error, and there is no network connection. You cannot go into your Spotify account or listen to any sort of music, and you'll either have to listen to the radio, or you have to listen to it from your actual iPhone. So if you're like,
Austin, I don't really care about the music, I can just listen to the radio, or I can listen to my phone.
It'll actually have to route you with no traffic data as well if you want to use the navigation. So for whatever reason, when you own a Tesla and you drive into like a parking garage or somewhere where there's no service, it just takes forever to actually get that connection back. You know how your iPhone, you can lose service, you get into an elevator or something like that, but typically within, I don't know, 10 or 20 seconds, you end up getting your service back. In the Tesla, I promise you, I do not know why, but it is like 15 or 20 minutes before you actually regain your connection. Overall, I think the Model 3 Tesla is a really, really great car, and I think the Tesla products in general are phenomenal, okay? I think Elon Musk is amazing, and I think the stock price might be a little bit overvalued, okay? But at the end of the day, I really, really do like the Tesla cars, and I would really highly recommend that you actually go buy one. I really had to think long and hard about the different things that I don't like with the car, because overall, compared to a gasoline car, they are just truly incredible, and there are so many different things that they have to offer. All the way from the look of the car, to the design of the car, to the comfort of the car, pretty much everything about the Tesla is truly incredible. And taking the car on a road trip was definitely a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed making the video. So if you haven't already, go ahead and just smash that like button, as it really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate that. And subscribe if you haven't already. And until then, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.